Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. This went left. Ooh. We got Golden State Valkyrie head coach, Golden State Valkyrie and a WNBA team, for those of you who aren't aware. Golden State Valkyrie head coach saying, yeah, we need more men in women's sports. There's not enough. We need more. We need to make sure we're inclusive of all walks of life. All walks of life. Natalie, there's this kid over here, senior in high school, nasty with it. He's gonna forego his college eligibility and jump right into the WNBA draft. He's gonna kill it in that league. Then we have head coach Cheryl Reeve, who was caught on camera talking to Sophie Cunningham. We got Cheryl Reeve saying, oh, that conversation, it was about me trying to educate Sophie Cunningham. All right, Cheryl, why are you wearing that shirt? Oh, the shirt? Oh, it's about me trying to educate people on the subject. And then we have Caitlin Clark. She wasn't going to be able to not touch this subject at all. A question eventually was going to be thrown her way, and how she handled that is going to be up to her. And yesterday, after the Lynx Fever game, a question was thrown her way, and Caitlin Clark did her best to pivot, run out the way, and try to keep it strictly basketball. She didn't give an answer one way. She didn't give an answer another way. She put the onus on leagues and whoever to make those rules. And the reaction from Caitlin Clark's answers, mixed. Let's get right into it, shall we? Like the video, hype the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. We're going to start right over here. Golden State Valkyrie coach Natalie Nakas says men should be allowed in women's sports. Sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. That includes trans women. Interesting.
I know you don't have the fever again in the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the...
Sophie Cunningham has broken everybody's brains. Everybody's brains. Nobody's been able to actually form a coherent thought since. They all just say, all right, wait, what's the script? What am I supposed to say? Yeah, this is what I'm going to say. They all sound the exact same. Sophie Cunningham, in a world full of robots, in a league full of robots, seems to be the only free thinker in this league.
Protests for her and protests against her, and they had a national televised game today, and Cheryl wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering, just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract from the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
To be fair, nobody has, gosh, this is going to sound bad. Not many people, I'll say that. Not many people, and by not many, I mean sub 400,000 people. Less than that. Not many people ever watch the WNBA for the basketball. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We're not really taking away from the basketball conversation because nobody talks about the basketball. Even when this type of stuff is going on, nobody's talking about the basketball. They're talking about Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark fans and Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark haters and calling her this and calling her that and a hit piece over there and a hit piece over there. Nobody's talking about the WNBA product, the actual basketball played in between the four lines, when there isn't a story like this floating around. So it's not really doing much harm in terms of damaging basketball conversation. We got to keep it a buck here. We have to keep it real. What you got?
I think, thank you for that question. I think just in terms of how I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self.
You know what, Natalie Nakas? Folks, I got to be real. I'm letting you know a secret. My authentic self is to be the best, the best women's basketball player in the world. So I'm going to join the WNBA, and I want everybody in that league to bow down to me as soon as I get there and let me score at will. Let me rebound at will so I can go down as the best WNBA player ever. You hear how stupid? You hear how stupid this all sounds?
I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times. And
yeah, and what'd you do? You went and proved you belong. You let your skill set speak for itself and proved you belong. Nothing was handed out to you. And you did this in a women's league. Natalie, if you were in a men's league, nobody would know who you are still. And you wouldn't even get these coaching opportunities because you would have been so diminished in the male realm. Nobody would have said, oh yeah, that's Natalie Lacoste. She was a pretty good player back in the day. No, that was Natalie Lacoste. She really was a great ball boy back in the day. No, it doesn't work like that.
For me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
These people are wild. Here we go. We got Cheryl Reeve. Cheryl Reeve said she wore her Trans Kids Belong shirt to educate. Educate us on what? That boys belong in girls. What a freaking weird. These people are all fucking weird. We got to keep it. They're all weird. They're all fringe. No, they're lunatics. They're lunatics. Some of them probably need to be locked up. Some of them probably don't need to be allowed within 300 feet of a school. You know what I mean?
Before the game, you had a conversation with Sophie Cunningham.
I did.
If you want to share what you talked
Absolutely
about, feel
not.
free. But
Absolutely not.
more of my question is just how important is it to have those like in-person conversations with people that
I think it's
have
great.
different views?
I think it's great. I think both of us understand that we have platforms, and we both talked about wanting to, more than anything, educate. And there are some things that we have in common, and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so, it was nice to be in person for sure.
Indeed. Now, this is the difference. This is the difference between when it comes to some issues you can look at and you say, okay, these are subjective, right? These are subjective, right? There are other issues where you need to look at the objective reality of the situation. You know what I mean? And the objective reality of this situation is it's black and white. It's right and wrong. It's boys, girls. Simple. There's no gray area in this conversation. There's no nuance. There's nothing floating in the middle. No. It's really just one or the other. Listen to that. It's pissing down rain over here. Pissing down rain, thunder, lightning. Good Lord. All right, let's get into what Caitlin Clark had to say at the end of the game.
I think for us, it's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins, and obviously we didn't do that tonight, so need to find an area to improve in that way.
Do you have any, reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go over to the Zoom. We'll start with Chloe.
Now, if you're not going to say the truth, right? If you're not going to say the truth, this is as good as an answer as you're going to get. This is as good as an answer as you're going to get, and this is as good as an answer as you're going to give. Because we all know the truth, but Caitlin Clark's answer right here, clearly a PR answer. Clearly an answer trying to refocus the conversation on the actual game at hand. Trying to keep it basketball the best that we can. This isn't surprising coming from Caitlin Clark. If you expected anything other than a PR, middle road, straddling the fence type of if you expected anything other than that, then you haven't really been paying attention. Then you haven't really been, other than her going on the Time magazine and confessing her white privilege, other than that, every other question, every other obstacle that's been put in front of her, she's done a good job of keeping it as PR as possible, as straddling the fence as best as she can. And this is just another example of it. Now, the reaction, people wanted more from her. And I can understand that. People wanted more from her. They wanted her to support Sophie Cunningham, who's been the only WNBA player in the entire league to ever support her, to ever have her back, to ever defend her on the court. They expected more from her. They're not going to get more. It's just not happening. At least not now in Caitlin Clark's career. Let's take a look at some of the reactions, shall we? Caitlin Clark is obviously the better player, but Sophie Cunningham is clearly the better role model by standing up for girls and women against the woke mob in the WNBA. Here we have women are real. Yep. And then we have the other side. Her job is to play basketball. How about we ask her questions about the phenomenal game that just happened between two of the best backcourt teams in the league? Senator Mommy, fair point. Fair point. Now you can answer these questions however you'd like. You can give an answer like Sophie Cunningham, the truth. You can give an answer like Stephanie White, deluded. Or you can give an answer like Caitlin Clark. Let's keep it basketball. Let's try to keep it basketball the best we can. This is my forte. Let's keep it basketball. They are all scared to death of lefty lunacy. Leave Caitlin alone. She just wants to play basketball. All the losers who are butthurt because they can't use Caitlin Clark to validate their own political agendas, let's just be honest with each other. This has nothing to do with the actual topic at hand, which he said nothing about one way or the other. Go touch grass. She doesn't ever talk about anything outside of basketball. She's a basketball player who was only here for the game. We did reference that Time article. Ask Mitchell the question. Why not ask Mitchell? Apparently she's a star. JFC, even she can't support Sophie. Caitlin Clark is a gutless coward. Damn, what a loser. Wow. This was already decided in the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement. It states that only players who are women are eligible to play in this league. You asked and she had a great answer. Just because you didn't get a gotcha moment out of Cece's answer, you think she dodged, move along. Yeah, the question was asked and she answered how she answered. She's already woke as they come, but they'll still choke her and jab her and leave her out in the cold any way they can. Sad to see that the WNBA doesn't like women. What she said is true. She avoided making a controversial statement. Her call, yeah, her right, absolutely, her right to not make a comment going one way or the other. I feel bad for Cece. She's so desperate for approval and acceptance from her colleagues that despise her. Damn. MAGA man right now. Everyone knows the truth, yet no one can say it out loud. Coward, respect has plummeted. I need a better role model for my 13-year-old daughter. Wow. Wow. Sophie replacing Clark as the face of sports MAGA. Good on her. Democrats buy shoes too. They don't want shit to do with Sophie's MAGA grift. I'm already getting the shit beaten out of me on the court. I don't need a bunch of damn coward. This is crazy. Coward. Man, this isn't a dodge. She gave the answer folks didn't want to hear. Also, these questions coming again. Cece ain't sticking to basketball. Sophie fucked you, and you got to deal with it. Again, this was the answer that you would expect coming from Caitlin Clark, right? This is the answer that you would expect. You wouldn't expect her to fall one way. You wouldn't expect her to fall the other way. You would expect her to try to keep basketball the best as she can if you followed her career, and try to keep both sides happy. The reaction seems to be quite mixed. It's a crazy timeline. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, have the video, subscribe to the channel. That means so much to me. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.